People have been applying for a lot of jobs on a LinkedIn and job portals, but they are not getting a lot of calls. So we know that this is now the employers market. This is not the employee market that used to be in 2020, but now for the last 2 3 years, 23, 24, 25 and 26, we all see that market is pretty bad, and people are saying that it is employers market and not the employee market. And we know that there are a lot of things have changed. Of course, AI is being the dominating factor here. It is doing a lot of it has become smarter than ever before, and it is getting smarter and smarter with every passing day. So this is going to be a norm now, right? This is a new normal, that we will not be getting calls as we used to get, or it is going to be tougher than ever before, right? To compete in this brutal job market, right? So I would like to talk about at least 4 or 5 strategies, that what you can do in this job market, how you can differentiate yourself, how you can stand out. First thing I will talk about is, you know go deeper on your fundamentals, right? So this is very very important. It does not matter which field you are in. If you are into a software development, then you must have your fundamentals very very clear. If you are into a working into a cloud technology, then you must have your all cloud concepts clear, all the architecture, design, and all those concepts that we have. So that should be very very clear. So if you're working on AI, then you have to have your fundamentals clear, like AI basics, and all the agentic AI ops, and the LLM concepts very very clear. It could be anything, means like the architecture design, the prompt engineering, the tools calling, the context switching. So a lot of things are there, right? So now that comes to my second point, which I would like to talk about, is show your work publicly. And this is very very important nowadays, given that we are into the brutal job market. We are not getting calls, and everybody is having a hard time. So how would you differentiate yourself? How would you stand out from the public, right? So this is very important, that you show your work publicly, be it on the LinkedIn, be it on the YouTube, be it on the X. So everywhere you have to showcase what skills you have. You have to have your GitHub page where you can build your projects publicly. You have to showcase your work that you have done in your companies. You have to write good quality articles. You have to publish good quality articles, or whatever architecture or design decision that you have taken, whatever trade-off that you have built, any production issues that you have fixed. So those sort of things you have to you must show publicly now. And you have to basically build your personal brand. You have to build your a strong presence in the industry presence, so that you can attract recruiters, you can attract the hiring manager, you can people. So it's not about knowing and putting something on your resume, but it is about showcasing what you have done earlier. So it is about going with a proof that you have the strong knowledge and the strong experience of what you are claiming on your resume. So now that's coming to my third point. So you have to be able to use AI really well, right? And you know it's not about just replacing your thinking with the AI, but you have to augment your thinking. You have to augment your capability with the AI, right? And we know that now almost like 40 to 50% of the production codes are being written by AI, right? So and a lot of documents, a lot of slides, and a lot of plans are being created, a lot of design and architecture are being created with the help of AI. So you must know that how to use AI effectively, how to use AI well, and it must be your go-to partner when you are kind of when you're planning on some design, some architecture, you're working on some documentation, you're writing codes. So you must know how to use AI effectively, right? And it is no brainer in 2026 that if you're not knowing AI, you're not relying on AI, you're not going to get any brownie point, right? So you must be able to use AI well to kind of augment your uh, skills, planning, work, output. Now that comes to my fourth point. You should be able to talk in the business outcomes. So what does that mean? Instead of saying that I have improved the production code, or I have improved this application, if you can say that I have increased the traffic by 40%, or if I have reduced the infra cost by 30%, right? So you show the measurable outcomes instead of just relying on a generic terms, right? So just putting very generic terms on your resume, on your profile, is not going to help you, or is not going to help the recruiter or the hiring manager assessing you that what you have done. So you have to put into a very measurable outcomes that what you have achieved, be it the automation that you have done, or the code quality that you have improved, the traffic you have increased on, or the business you have improved, or the infra cost you have reduced. So anything you have to show in the measurable outcome, and that is going to have an impact, and that is going to put you, stand you out. That coming to my fifth point, I would say, just build your opinion about something, right? It is not, you should not be a people that who know something, right? But you should be somebody who can think, who can who can reason through that. And we know that a lot of people are using AI, and don't just use AI to make yourself dumb, or make yourself not a smarter, right? As I said earlier, we have to use AI to augment our thinking, not to kind of circumvent our thinking, or we should not be stopping our mind and completely relying on AI. But it is all about building the point of view. So let's say if you're working on architecture design, if you're writing code, you're fixing the production issues, you're working on the incidents, you are modernizing the legacy applications, you are improving the legacy code. Anything that you are doing, you must build your opinion and your thinking about that, so that you can think, you can have a design thinking, you can think in terms of trade-off, you can build your system thinking. And that will, you will come across as a person who can really think on the problem statements, and come up with a couple of solutions. You can talk about the design trade-offs, you can talk about the architecture plans, you can talk about the cost implications. So there, as we know that there are different one problems can be solved in different ways. So if you're coming with different solutions, then you must come with the rationals that why you think your solution is right for the given scenarios. So this is very, very important to build your opinion and thinking on a certain problem. And now coming to my last point, which is about if you can build some skills with certifications, and other things which you can showcase on your profile, on your resume, then you have to really invest on your certifications very, very strategically. And we know that we have a plethora of certifications around, and you have to choose wisely what certifications that will add value to your profile, your career, and that will help you stand out in this brutal job market. So these are the strategies that I have shared with you. These are very, very important to kind of get into this job market and differentiate yourself. It's not easy, as I said. Just applying and just waiting, you're not going to get calls. So as I said earlier, you have to kind of go deeper on your fundamentals. You have to kind of build your presence, industry presence. Strategically, you have to showcase your work publicly. You have to talk in the business outcomes. You have to kind of use AI very strategically to enhance your thinking and enhance your work. You have to kind of build skills with certifications strategically, so that it will help your career and yourself stand out from the competition, and you will start getting calls, and you will start getting recruiters and hiring managers attentions gradually.